Listen, America has never stood on what they preached. They told the soldiers in 1943, in a pamphlet stamped U.S. Army, that democracy was worth dying for. They said fascism was built on lies, on the idea that some lives mattered more than others. They said racism weakens a nation. They said freedom only works when it belongs to everybody. They called it army talks. But for black soldiers, it wasn't talk. It was a promise. Over 1 million black men wore the uniform, fought in Europe, built bases, drove supply trucks through gunfire, bled under a flag that still flew over Jim Crow. They listened when the army said, "You are fighting for democracy." So when they came home and couldn't vote, couldn't sit at lunch counters, couldn't walk safely at night, they remembered what the government itself had admitted. This country was breaking its own rules. Take Medgar Evers, World War II veteran, Normandy invasion, honorable discharge. He came home to Mississippi and was told a uniform couldn't protect him there. So he joined the NAACP, organized voter registration, investigated lynchings, pushed for the desegregation of the University of Mississippi. He wasn't asking for special treatment. He was asking America to keep its word. And he paid for that belief with his life. Or look at the movement itself. Disciplined, strategic, trained. That wasn't accidental. World War II veterans filled the ranks of the NAACP, trained young people in how to stand firm, how to take orders, how to endure pressure without breaking. That discipline showed up in Montgomery, when people walked instead of rode for 381 days. It showed up in Birmingham, when children faced dogs and fire hoses with their backs straight. It showed up in Selma, when marchers crossed a bridge, knowing history was watching. And then there was Martin, born in 1929, raised in the shadow of the war, preaching to congregations filled with veterans who had already fought one battle and were ready for another. When MLK said, "America has defaulted on a promissory note," he wasn't inventing new language. He was collecting on an old debt, a debt the government acknowledged. Back in 1943, when he said, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere," he echoed the same logic the army used to condemn fascism. The difference? The army whispered it. Martin thundered it. From army talks to Montgomery, from Normandy to Selma, from a pamphlet meant to manage morale to a movement that demanded truth. The civil rights movement wasn't sudden. It was delayed accountability. Black veterans believed America when America explained itself. MLK believed them. And together, they forced the nation to face a truth it already knew. You cannot fight tyranny overseas and defend it at home. You cannot preach democracy and practice exclusion. And once a people have been trained to recognize freedom, they will never stop demanding it. All this information for the original Army pamphlet can be found at U.S. War Department, Army Talks, Special Pamphlet Number 24, The Negro Soldier, 1943. Available through the U.S. National Archives, the Library of Congress, and university digital collections such as University of North Texas Digital Library and HathiTrust, public domain.